to get to some semifinal action. The St. Louis Shock are facing off, get this, against the Frisco Pandas. You want to talk about a complete turnaround? Well, that has been the story for the Frisco Pandas here in Dallas, Texas. And as a little bit of a treat, take a look at this. The semifinals for the Challenger level, 52% for the St. Louis Shock over the Frisco Pandas. And can't wait to see the #1 draft pick out on the court. And as a, fun afternoon, we might as well go full cam up in the booth. Cameron Irwin, that's me, alongside Cameron Blackwood. This has only happened, I think, once before.
I know, it should happen more.
We might as well have some fun with it. So,
I mean, if you're not confused, we are.
Cam and Cam in the booth. So there's a look at Rob Nunnery, the #1 overall pick for the Challenger draft. And Martin Emmerich, and he has been a nice surprise here in Dallas just in terms of partnering up for this genders doubles duo. The lefty and the righty combination will face off against, you've got some Frisco Pandas out there. But what do you like so much about Rob Nunnery and Martin Emmerich?
I mean, you just have so much experience right now with Rob Nunnery. He's been there, done that. He knows the game. He can adjust mid-game, different strategies, different patterns. He's just a rock out there. He always keeps his attitude. It's pretty consistent as well. You're not going to get super high, super low. So a great partner. On the other side, you have Emmerich over there with a really flashy lefty there, but his footwork is incredible and very explosive. That's one thing that I really want to see, the dynamic of the two forehands in the middle here. What I love is that he does have the solid rock with Rob Nunnery. So if he does get out of whack a little bit with some crazy shots, that he can rein him back in, because I think right now how they're setting up their style of men's doubles is working seamlessly.
Well, their competitors are Ryler DeHart and Andre Mick. Ryler DeHart, also a lefty, so we're going to have a nice little righty-lefty combination on the opposite side. You can see his DUPR also on screen, currently at the 74 mark. There's a look at Ryler, and here's Andre Mick, one of the new pieces to the Frisco Pandas. What do we know about Andre Mick, Cam?
Well, first of all, he is a fun guy on and off the court. If you see him off the court, go have a conversation with him. But what has surprised me most is his confidence on court. He now knows he belongs. I wouldn't have said that in the first MLP in Atlanta, but now I will. He's very confident. He loves playing alongside Ryler DeHart. We're going to have all four hands in the middle. This can create a lot of problems. We have every best shot right there. So also look for some confusion. See them just spread out wide at the kitchen line with their dinks. Maybe find a little holes down the middle with both of these. All four of these players don't play together often, outside of MLP. So it'll be really interesting to see who capitalizes and who can execute with two forehands in the middle.
Well, it will be double forehands in the middle on both sides. We saw Andre Mick. He's originally from Melbourne, Australia, where he was ranked the #1 junior tennis player. So comes from a great tennis background, played 4 years of Division I tennis at Cleveland State University, and he's got the, I believe, ProXR paddle in his hand to
and
this
I
point.
will say, with Andre Mick, watch out for his ground strokes. They are dipping so fast, so hard. He was getting free points just off of his drives. And so look for him to really take advantage of that, and especially with that combo on Ryler DeHart along with an Emmerich, you have a lot of inside ins that you can find the other guy kind of creeping in towards the middle, and you can find that slot down the line.
Cam, talk to me about momentum, because for the Frisco Pandas,
let's get Bobby Oshiro up here.
Yeah, no kidding. There's something to be said about gaining some momentum, which is exactly what they've done in Dallas. After going winless previously, they have picked up multiple wins, including a quarterfinal matchup versus, I believe it was the Hustlers to this point. So 3 wins. How much momentum can you find in this format, in this style of Major League Pickleball?
What's great about the Pandas, I was talking to them before, is the excitement that they have. Not only that they've made it this far, yes, in the second half, but all year long. This is the furthest that the Pandas have ever been. So they take so much pride in that, saying, you know what, we're the first team to get it here, get us into the semifinals. They are so excited. They love the pressure, and I think they're playing with so much confidence that they're wanting to see themselves in the finals.
There's no doubt about it. Well, they are just one step away from making it to that Challenger final. All that stands in their way? Well, the St. Louis Shock. And interestingly enough, too, for the St. Louis Shock, it's been a bit of a turnaround for them. They did not make the playoffs in Atlanta. Didn't make it out of that group phase. So a very different story for them here in Dallas as they are now looking to make it to a final. The other semifinal for the Challenger level is also taking place right now. You can find it out on our grandstand coverage. Gender doubles get set. Men are out first.
0-0.
Teams kind of attack that area on Emmerich throughout the weekend.
Well, practice makes perfect. I think he's probably seen enough now. And as you saw, yes, he took a big swing on that, but it wasn't a 100% swing there. It was about an 80% placed well. I think he's noticing, hey, if I place it well, I don't need all that power, and that's where you find a lot of errors.
Quick flip for Rob Gunnery. Ball out of bounds, so Frisco Pandas get their first.
1-1.
Yeah, come on. Back of a poach from DeHart, but it doesn't pay dividends as there is just a whopping gap in the backcourt.
I like that move from him. It was very surprising for us to even watch. So I'd like to see him do that. Just aim a little bit more towards the feet there so he doesn't have a chance to get that back. But I don't mind the move.
On that backhand side, however, this hip location is tough.
DeHart just seems so relaxed right now. If you watch a lot, all four of the guys, their feet, he's just very relaxed in his strokes, and even that is just a nice placement ball, and he knew right where to hit the winner.
Too much offense on the opposition.
Yeah, all four guys right now staying up the kitchen line, staying strong, short, compact swings. Nice to see some patterns evolve here very soon.
To a piece, some miscommunication. We talk about the two forehands and how wonderful it can be. Well, also can create some communication issues.
Frisco Pandas yesterday is DeHart and Mick knew their jobs with the two forehands in the middle. Sometimes you get so excited because it's both your best shots, but we saw there that Mick was more of the setup guy and Ryler came in and cleaned house. So I think if you have those two distinctions with having two forehands in the middle, you're going to see a lot better play from that side. So I'm very interested to see how the Shock's movement here and their roles, if they're going to match that as well.
5-3, the Shock have the advantage. We've seen several odd skips throughout the weekend.
Yeah, and it's just, first time here playing, and the weather's been a little funky. The wind's kind of swirling a little bit, so definitely the weather playing some factor here, but not making too much of a mess. Had some words for himself after that speed up.
That was supposed to be a winner right down the middle.
6-4.
That is a big backhand from Emmerich. On the shoulder on one side of his body, can't find the other.
Yeah, and I like what Mick did, change the location of that to his forehand at his chest area. That just can jam you up. Versus on the backhand side, he's been having a lot of success.
Speaking of winners, Rob Nunnery finds one on the forehand side. Nunnery went from the second round and the 19th pick in season 1 of this year to the first round, first overall. Nunnery slightly iced out in the middle of that round.
Yeah, really smart there with the Frisco Pandas are doing right now. They're really targeting the outside angles of the kitchen, and if you see the middle, the gap just gets bigger and bigger and bigger on the shop side. So they're just playing smart pickleball. They're not doing too much here. They're floating a couple high, getting beat on those, but I think if they can stay in that pattern, they're going to find a lot more winners.
Go, Shark. 7-8.
Nunnery with the right amount of slide finds a backhand counter.
He has some of the best hands in the game. Absolutely, without a doubt. He keeps his swing so compact that he's able to go from one side of his body to the other seamlessly.
Got it. Oh!
It's commentator's curse, Cam.
Sorry.
It happens.
Sorry.
8-9.
Heck of a shot, handcuffed. Almost looking like a chicken wing out there, Martin Emmerich.
Yeah, and again, just a great spot. Body him up there on his forehand side, chest level. Hard to get back, even just for a reset.
One with a switch here. The Frisco Pandas have the lead.
Come on, Rob. 10-9.
Like Emmerich there, keeping a lot of his momentum forward, finishing the backhand out in front of him, versus sometimes you get caught on your back foot there, just want to keep it in. I like his aggression so far.
You. Me.
Rob Nunnery is picking and choosing his spots perfectly. Ends up the St. Louis Shock get the change of ends first, 11-10, and it seems as if Rob Nunnery is having quite an impact.
Absolutely, and I knew he would. Like I said, out there, he is probably the most solid guy on the court, and he keeps his emotions, like I said, even keel. He's not going to get too high, too low. He knows his part to play. So what I like that he's playing within himself, oh, there he is, my guy, the Frisco Panda. I bet he is warm. He is very warm.
I think that's fair. Usually if you're cloaked in fur, that's an equation for success in terms of the warmth scale.
That is true.
The Frisco Pandas, of course, formed in 2023 by none other than Dude Perfect. This is a team that combines a passion for competitive sports and the fun of pickleball. And of course, the amazing fans from Dude Perfect, trying to build one of the premier level franchises based out of Frisco, Texas. So you can imagine they've got plenty of fans in the stands, as well as, of course, the ATX Pickleballers, also out of great state of Texas.
Yep, we have 4 teams in total from MLP.
Sounds like a trivia question. Name them.
Dallas Ranchers, Frisco, and STS.
Oh, there she goes. Come on now.
Guys,
The queen of MLP.
oh, thank you, Cameron. Very kind of you. Oh dear.
Well, now at 11-10, the change of end, and the good news is also the championship court is cloaked in shade. So both sides sitting nice and shaded.
It's been a pretty even matchup so far. Interesting to see change of sides, if anything changes. I mean, who's going to execute in those really big moments here, because both teams are playing well. And, you know, hitting the winners when they see them, not going for too much. So it comes down to execution here in the second part of this game. Was working on the change of ends hands on the other side, so we'll see if we can't clean that one up.
Along the ladder. You.
Returning middle to Andre Mick, forcing him to have to hit the third.
And if you're going to have to force someone to hit a third, it would be Andre Mick. DeHart just a little bit more experience. He can dip that in. He can hit a drive. So that is the right move. But
That's 2 for 2, man.
what do I talk about? Here we go, Rob. Make your serve.
Just hope Cameron Blackwood does not talk about you, or else you will make an error. She always says nice things, and you just said Rob, and it happened, so you are 3 for 3, Cameron.
No, I said, Rob, make your serve. And he did.
There you go.
Just didn't make it.
Ball, 13.
Come on, Emmerich.
Someone's always bound to make an error somewhere. And you have a 25% chance that it's going to be one of the guys you're talking about.
14-12.
Change of end, and it's a little breezy too. I think everyone's just settling into this point.
Yeah, I think so. Just a lot of unforced errors, and like we said, the wind is a little swirly. I don't think it's making too much of an impact. I think, like you said, just settling into the sides. Sometimes it's just a different look with the background and the feel of it. So
It always hurts to miss an overhead like that in the net. It hurts your soul.
15-13. You. 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 Got it.
Great job by DeHart, pulling that over the top of his head, finding a nice overhead on the counter.
And just great reaction right there. I don't think you guys realize when it nicks off the tape, just how much of a difference that makes with the trajectory of the ball and it coming at your face. So just great hands there by DeHart to finish that one.
Go.
If you're just joining us, this is a semifinal matchup for the challenger level. Just the first game to be played in this match. First to 3 points in terms of their game points will take home the match and move on to the finals. Frisco Pandas, it's Andre Mick, and of course Ryler DeHart, as well as Bobby Oshiro and Martina Frantova. Perfected the overhead.
Wow, I'm glad that landed in. I wasn't sure. He swung for the fences on that one, caught the back line, but great play by him. Again, with the around the post, I wasn't sure if it was even going to be in, so good on DeHart to keep that play going and come out on top.
Tough as that ball hits the line, gets a nice little skip in favor of Martin Emmerich.
17-16. You. Got it. Got it. You. Go. You. Got it.
Nice job, Nunnery, with some good lateral movement to the middle.
And just a lot of great movement by all 4 guys there. You see the battle of the lefties just within those dink rallies there, and they want to change it up, getting Rob and Nunnery involved. It's hard to do. I see why Mick's doing it. You know, wants to add a different shot in there, just a different look, change up the pattern a little bit, but he will make you pay, and he did just that.
Score is 18-16 for the St. Louis Shock. A timeout is called for the Frisco Pandas as they trail by 2. Have to figure out a little something here, but also gives me a chance to talk about the rest of this team for the St. Louis Shock. Obviously, you've got Martin Emmerich and Rob Nunnery out on the court now, but coming up next for women's gender doubles, it's Judith Castillo and Jeannie Arokina. This is a combination combination that has improved playing alongside one another. Judith so dangerous, but Jeannie Arokina also just really tough to face off against, just imagining the amount of length and reach that she has at her disposal.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to Arokina has now built in more confidence. Even talking with her on the interviews or anything, she's like, I know I belong here. I know I can win these matches. I know that I can perform and be a good teammate. And then going to the side of Castillo, she now has just improved in her doubles game tremendously. She used to just be a single specialist, and she was medaling and winning there, but now seeing her in the later rounds in the doubles and now bringing it here to MLP, no wonder they're having success here. So I think just the combination of both of those has created a much more powerful team for the Shock.
So they will face off against Bobby Oshiro and Martina Frantova next up for women's gender doubles. However, we need to find out who's going to put the first point on the board. Is it the Frisco Pandas or the St. Louis Shock? Both teams in uncharted territory as they have shown up here in Dallas and found themselves in a semifinal.
I'd like to see the Pandas target the forehand chest side of Emmerich. On the side of the Shock, they were finding a lot of success with that spot, so see if maybe they can't find that again. Tie this up, get back in the lead.
Right now he's sitting pretty decently on that backhand side. I think it might be important too, that speed up coming up from the line. Trying to find that right shoulder, or excuse me, left shoulder, to your point. Incredible play from the Frisco Pandas. That's anything but cuddly.
Yeah. Well, I just lost my train of thought. That was great. Good job. What I was going to say, though, is because he tipped it, Emmerich had such a chance at just a winner right there with a ground stroke. So credit to the heart to get that back.
Make it one more for the Frisco Pandas, trying to put this thing to a tie. Ball out of bounds, and we are tied up 19-all. The St. Louis Shock taking a timeout.
Yeah, it's a great job. Like I said, the Pandas didn't get overwhelmed. They didn't think, oh, we have to do so much. We have to make sure to get in. They just played simple pickleball, and yeah, I would say maybe a little lucky making sure that DeHart got that ball back within that crazy point there. But it was going to be a close match. We're in a semifinal here. All four guys deserve to be out here. They've been there, done that. They can play in these clutch moments. 19-19. Who can execute, get this first point, and get the momentum on their side heading into women's doubles?
There's the Frisco Panda. Having some fun right now in the stands. Just 2 points separate these two teams in terms of finding that first point of the match. It's a race to 2.
Come in. 19-19.
What in the world just happened?
Stop a play by the ref here on this side.
Here's a look at the replay, but the whole team just stopped.
Oh,
There's a foot fault violation, and so
he didn't reestablish it. It looked like he did.
I think he fell in after contact here. Martin Emmerich volleys this ball and then falls in. So that is a great job. Wow. None of us even caught it.
No.
It was so late after the contact.
I think she called, no one heard her on this side. And it's hard, the main ref there has that shadow right in his eye, so it's hard to see across from.
The Pandas are serving at 2019.
So if this call does in fact stand as a foot fault on the kitchen line, the Frisco Pandas would have a look at game point 20-19.
Tough call there.
But it looked like
the correct one.
I was going to say it looked like
the
it was.
correct one.
So we shall see.
Well, it's almost like when you go back to the match with Dallas, when you have Callie Smith, when she went and tried to do a fake Ernie almost just to pressure a little bit. She crossed the plane, even though in that tight moment against the Diamonds cost them that match for them to go into the Dream Breaker and ultimately lose that. But yeah, just those tough little things with their feet at the kitchen line, and that's why we love and hate pickleball. It's because of that great little kitchen line there. But very glad that we have these incredible refs that can call those at these crucial moments here in the semifinals. We want to make sure it's fair play across the board, and everyone's getting their best shot here to get into the finals tomorrow.
Speaking of the finals, I believe the other team has booked their trip to the finals.
Wow.
The SoCal Hard Eights went to work out on our
Already?
grandstand. I believe that has been completed.
Oh my goodness.
I need to make sure that is accurate before.
Those Hard Eights.
And I am hearing that the Hard Eights did in fact beat the Mad Drops 3-1. It made some quick work and are moving
5-minute
on.
matches. I mean, goodness.
But nonetheless, the SoCal Hard Eights are looking to go back-to-back in terms of titles. They will now officially have the chance to do so.
After review, the referees call on court stands. There will be on the NBZ. The Shack have lost a free video challenge. They now have 2 remaining. The Pandas have 3 free challenges remaining. We will resume play with the Pandas serving 2019. 15 seconds.
Call does in fact stand. A momentum fault. I like that there was a little description added in there.
Momentum fault.
You lost the challenge.
Does happen.
You lost the challenge.
One thing you can do, obviously we can't do it here, was happening so fast and Nunnery didn't see it, but your partner is allowed to grab you and pull you back.
Would have been enjoyable to
However,
watch.
they can't step in the kitchen and push you back. They also have to be established outside of the kitchen line as well. Just a side note. I've had a partner or two rip me back from falling in the kitchen line.
So nonetheless, the Frisco Pandas now at a game point opportunity, looking to strike first.
2019.
Oh my, tough go for Andre Mick.
And he knew it, turns around, saw that one going out. I mean, he got saved in the first one because that for sure was flying out. So for him to even stay in the point was huge.
Rally scoring on both sides of the net. Good leave from Mick. A little dicey there as that was inches from the line.
A great change of pace by him. He's really just been floating in that 200 backhand, keeping it in as a nice deke. So for him to hit that speed up just a little bit really caught Emmerich off guard. Great shot.
A little ambitious, and Mick just letting everyone know the frustration is there off that two-hand backhand.
Yeah, you know what he's thinking and saying in his head. It is all out on the court.
You go. You. You. Me. You. 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 Got it. Got it. Got it. You. You. You.
Just an incredible rally. Elongated goes the direction of the St. Louis Shock.
Yeah, great job there by Nunnery. Again, I think the most solid player right there on the court, but kind of surprised that the Pandas stuck with that, just hitting every single dink to him and not changing it up going to Emmerich. But, you know, clearly they have a plan and they want to stick with that.
So now game point on the opposition, St. Louis Shock. Oh, on the dink error. This is where things get a little bit tighter.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking every shot right now, every dink, even your serve.
Riley DeHart with some big-time defense.
Credit, first of all, to Nunnery for keeping them in that point. Almost looked like they were out of it there, but credit to DeHart and Mick for staying in it and just punching it to the open court there at the very end. God, this is a great match. Good first match here in the semis.
Wind gusting in now. Oh
And
my.
you say that.
No, and this is why I brought it up. So ball hit out of bounds, and I believe an inflatable noisemaker comes on the court. So this is where it gets interesting. The
Shock is not happy. Their bench is not happy.
That's because a hindrance call has been made by our officiating crew. However, their argument is the fact that the ball was already hit and out of bounds before that ever came on the court. So here's a look at it. There's the inflatable noisemaker that came across the kitchen line. I think that's a violation in its own right. I don't know if that's considered a volley or not. But the Frisco Pandas had hit the ball out of bounds, but instead they're getting the ball back,
As a
which would be
replay.
a replay. Thank you.
And it is frustrating. I mean, right now it's 22-23. We're down to the wire. It's a semifinal. You want the first point, get your momentum into this game. So, of course, you're going to be upset. Of course, you don't want the hindrance to be called. You want it to just, oh, the ball's out. Let's continue on. Let's get the point. But, you know, have to play by the rules here. And I clearly did hear the ref stop play when that came on there right after he said, it's a little windy out here. That thing flew right on the court.
So right now, I believe they're going to take a look at this. There's, I think, conversation whether this is in fact challengeable or not. So we will also get some clarification. So hang with us here as we are checking this out with our officiating crew.
But this can be a little bit of a momentum shift here if, in fact, the Pandas do get the replay there, just because the Shock, they're so emotional about this. I mean, without that inflatable noisemaker coming onto the court, that was, in fact, their point. So, you know, seeing how much that really affects them if this, in fact, is a replay. Clarification here by the head ref.
So I'm also getting a little clarification from some of our officials saying that it is at the referee's discretion. So we will wait to find out whether this in fact is going to how this is going to play out. So thanks for sticking with us. This is pivotal, right? This is a semifinal matchup. It's really interesting in terms of you think of the impact that this first game could really have, and especially because it's an extended game, right? We're already at 23-22, a little dicey, but this first game can really impact the results and how the rest of the match will shape up. What would this mean for the St. Louis Shock in terms of momentum if they were in fact able to get this call their direction and pick up this first game?
Oh, huge. I think they just have so much confidence coming into the semifinals anyways, that they believe that they should be in the final tomorrow. So I think for them that, they believe they should win this men's doubles and might get the call here soon. But I will say with the St. Louis Shock, even if they don't get this call, I don't see it really hindering him that much moving into women's doubles and then mixed carrying on. I do think that they're strong enough just as a unit mentally and just confident within their team that it's not going to be too much of an effect. But of course, you want this win. You don't want to. You want to clean sweep it if you can't. You want to do what the Hard Eights just did. Finish this out, man. As we saw on the side of the Pandas, we had Megan Fudge, Ryler DeHart's wife, come out. She seemed to have a little 2 cents of her own about what she thinks of this as well. It's an emotional time here, and you want your significant other to do well. You want it to be fair. So it'll be really interesting to see what the ref's decision is.
Well, everyone's getting into the mix in terms of having the conversation. Even the Frisco Panda down on the sideline having some words.
He saw it clearly.
Clearly.
Hindrance.
I thought mascots weren't supposed to be able to talk.
I think in pickleball, everything's different.
That's fair.
I think
that is also fair.
What's normal in the real world is completely switched for pickleball.
We might get the call here.
Video review. The ball was not dead when I called the hinder. Therefore, the call on court to do a replay stands.
Wow.
The Shock lose a video challenge. They have 2 remaining. I'm sorry, So that was the Shock's second video challenge. They have 1 remaining. The Pandas still have 3 free challenges remaining. We will replay that rally, so therefore we are resuming play with the Pandas service at 23-22. 15 seconds.
The St. Louis Shock are not happy about this.
I almost thought I saw Brandon Hupschman said, we're not challenging that, we're challenging whether...
At this point,
Make a decision, let's keep moving.
and based off of the description of our official, he said that he had called for a hindrance before the ball had become dead, which would mean that that ball had, he called for hindrance before that ball landed out of bounds.
Correct, and we did see on that slow replay the noisemaker coming in before the ball had bounced.
All right, folks, let's take this time to pass out some knockaround shades. We got Nighthawk. He's got 4 pairs. They're going to the loudest and the proudest fans. Make some noise for Nighthawk, folks. These are knockaround shades. They're not like any other shades we've experienced. They're sleek. They are sexy, dare I say. Again, make some noise for Nighthawk.
I just think regardless, we have our head ref here, Courtney out here, pretty much saying like, hey, we're not even having this discussion. We're not going to argue. We made the call. Move on.
Yep.
In just a moment. Currently, we are making sure that the call is correct.
And again, if you're just joining us, every point matters at this point. It's the semifinals between the St. Louis Shock and the Frisco Pandas. At 23-22, a replay has been called as an inflatable noisemaker floated onto the court as a ball was falling out of bounds, ironically at the exact same location as that inflatable coming onto the court. Here's a look at it, and during this time they literally intersect, as they have completely intersected this first game as well. But we are back underway.
This point's huge.
Just been sitting all of a sudden. The Frisco Pandas, after a wild range of events to close out this game, take game number 1 and look to head to women's gender doubles with a point on the board. Just a crazy finish, Cameron.
And this is where the Shock have to regroup immediately. They can't take the emotion from men's doubles, bring it in here to women's doubles. What's done is done. They lost that one. Let's refocus. Let's get focused here on women's doubles. I just think a lot of the time it's so hard. We think, oh, well, we lost because of that. It's a long game there. I mean, if you're going to win, there's a lot of points to go ahead and do that on. You had a match point here and there. So I just think right now for them to keep arguing right now and just kind of keeping that negative emotion. So let's move on. Let's get on to women's doubles and get some positive energy here and get our next point on the board.
Yeah, no doubt about it. At 23-22, the ball hit out of bounds. It would have gone the opposite direction for the St. Louis Shock. Instead, the game point remained on the side of the Frisco Pandas, and they walked away with game number 1. Coming up after this break, women's gender doubles. Can the St. Louis Shock regroup and find a tied score?
What's your DUPR?
It's all up to me. Nothing can get in my way. And when they ask, what are you gonna do next? I'll say, I'm going.
We're going to Margaritaville!
You can go to Margaritaville too. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob ULTRA, superior light beer.
This is the semi.
You want to talk about needing to regroup? That is going to be the case right now for the St. Louis Shock as they trail 0-1. Gender doubles for the women's side now underway. Frisco Pandas versus the St. Louis Shock in Challenger semifinals. Just wild at the men's gender doubles finish with a hindrance call and a win for the Frisco Pandas. Now out on the court, Jeannie Arrow Arokina and Judith Castillo, the crew for the St. Louis Shock, as well as Oshiro and Frantova for the Frisco Pandas. Oshiro on the right side in the pink visor, Martina Frantova on the left.
What a great complementary team that is. So much power and length, obviously, from Frantova there. And Bobby Oshiro, just such a solid player. She can really just keep you in a point, hit incredible resets when she needs it. Really not going to make too many errors. You can always count on her to kind of be that rock that you really need on your side.
I've always been really impressed with Oshiro and her control up at the kitchen. Frantova pulls the trigger early.
Saw where she wanted to go, just stood up a little bit on that one, tipped the net, but I like that opening right there. That's one thing that Frantova is just going to have to make sure that she executes really well because she has so much power. Even yesterday, a lot of balls flew long where she drove them right into the net. So just making sure she's finding that good medium pace there where she's keeping those balls in play for them to get those points.
That's a great aggressive dink from Frantova. Frantova, originally out of Slovakia, started playing tennis at a very early age, at about 10 years old. Played Division I tennis at NC State. She's also been playing pickleball since about 2019.
5-3.
A little extra tempo on that return from Frantova.
6-3.
Crafty play from Frantova.
That is just incredible. And to me, it almost reminds me of a Tyra Black when she just has so much spin and can slice and dice you. So she has the power, shows you, hey, you know what, I can hit a little cheeky shot over here too. So make sure that you can run up and get these suckers when I drop them in front of you.
I feel like I just had a glimpse as what it would be like playing against you. Good amount of trash talk.
Oh, absolutely. If not, there's always a parking lot. Oh, yep.
Cameron Blackwood's ready to put on the mitts, as are the Frisco Pandas.
Always, always.
Let's go. 5-7.
Frantova just getting her feet twisted up there a bit. A little bit of a deeper dink than she expected.
Yeah, and not too much patterns forming right now. It's kind of just, there's hitting to hit right now. So I'd like to see them hone in on what's the strategy. What are we really trying to do here? And I think you're going to see a team really pull away because right now they just, both teams kind of seem out of sort, just hitting to hit and going for a little too much here and there. So settling back in. It's a very emotional end to our men's doubles. Get your patterns and your strategy of what you're wanting, execute.
That's not going to help the St. Louis Shock. They had the 2-point advantage, now turned to 1. Long arm of Jeannie Arokina.
Sometimes those are the toughest ones because you just want to finish it so much that you go for a little too much, and just great placement there by Arokina.
forehand counter. Jeannie Arroquino wound that up and just finished into the corner.
What I liked about that, she sat out just long enough, crashed the net almost when you weren't expecting it. Nice place forehand right behind Frantova there.
Yuta Castillo with the serve out of Northwestern State University of Louisiana.
Those are just those small errors that you have to be careful with Frantova there.
So at 11-7, the St. Louis Shock have the advantage into the change of end. We saw Yuta Castillo. We've talked about her. I remember when she first kind of came on to the pickleball scene, there was a lot of conversation about some of her ground strokes and her tennis acumen out on the pickleball court. But she has truly grown in so many different ways and really dedicated herself to the craft of pickleball. It's been fun to watch. She started playing tennis at a young age at about 12 and then picked up pickleball just a year ago. It's wild to see just how fast some of these athletes can make the transition. What are some of the most daunting tasks you kind of have to uncover as you head from tennis to pickleball?
I think one of the biggest things is ego. I think you can come in, you can do really well in singles, think I got it all, I don't really need any advice. I think what she did really well, she came in and she took advice from the top players and she really listened to what they had to say. And to me, that's what, when you see the transition from a great singles player coming over from tennis to then becoming a great doubles player, I think is really buying into what this sport is and not just playing it your way because you found success in singles. So credit to her for really taking quote unquote herself out of it and listening and learning and watching the game, then making it her own. But credit to her for really paying attention to those key people in her life that has gotten her to the stage she is now. And her athleticism, goodness. Yeah! What a great spot.
Fabio Shiro's taking body shots.
That's one thing. Yes, Arroquina has a lot of length, but it's also a lot of body to hit. So good on Oshiro there to body her up.
Lots of spin from Frantova, just propelling that ball wide of the court after it bounced.
9-11.
Castillo loves that quick little backhand flick.
Just a great read there too. We really haven't seen her punch too many down the middle, so a good change of pace there and different look there for the Pandas that they were not expecting.
Castillo again with another good ball. This time it's all about the depth of stroke.
And one thing about Castillo too is she has a great attitude. And she really just keeps herself positive as well, as you can see out there, just motivating. Even if it's a miss, don't worry about it. Let's go. And really wants to keep her team up and confident that, yeah, we can miss a couple, but we can get this win here.
She's also a smart cookie. Graduated summa cum laude with a bachelor's degree in health and exercise science and a master of science in sports admin. Good for her. She might be running this show one day.
Yeah, no joke.
How many degrees?
12-13.
Frantova trying to take over the middle, but leaves an alleyway.
There's about 3 balls flying out on that one. That, like I said, there wasn't really much of a pattern here with these women. It's just, they're playing pickleball, but to me, there's no game plan right now. And I think it's going to be who in this last few points here can really string together a couple key points with some strategy, actual strategy behind it, that's going to come out on top of this one.
It's also becoming a bit of a challenge as both teams trying to solidify themselves up at the kitchen, which is why you're maybe not seeing as many pattern points.
Yeah, the transition zone is a problem right now with both teams.
And as soon as they get set up at the kitchen, the first rolling volley from Arokina gets the job done.
15-13.
Good poach from Castillo, and she knows it's time to put a little bit of momentum on their side.
That was a sorry, not sorry at all.
Arokina, actually, that's probably one of her best shots, is that third shot drop on the forehand side from the left side. She's really good at finding that cross-court ball, creating some issues for her opponent. So a timeout called here, 16-13.
This is exactly what the Shock needed. They need to get the momentum back on their side. They need, hey, you know what? Yeah, we got unlucky there in the men's doubles, but let's go ahead. Let's get it tied up 1-1. Let's trust our mixed doubles from heading on. Let's get ourselves into the finals. But I think, you know, like I said right now, all women playing good pickleball. I just think, like you said, it's hard for them to get up to that kitchen line to really form some points. And we know it's very different than men's doubles. Men's doubles, you are going to see the longer points. Women's, you're not. However, even the firefights at the kitchen, we're not really seeing as much right now. Usually it's one team up there, the other team back defending. So just a little bit of a funky match here, but credit to these women of who comes out on top for just getting the job done. Watching the Steelers last night, they said, you know what, it's not pretty, but we got the W.
Unfortunately, the Steelers did that to my Rams as well just a few weeks ago. Thanks for bringing it up, Cam.
No problem. It's my team.
For a lucky corner, no good.
14-16.
Great pop off of Frantova's paddle. Rocking the carbon in her hand.
15-16.
Watch Oshiro in the transition zone. She gets so low, really lowering that center of gravity, and she's got such quiet hands. Really nice touch.
Yeah, a lot like if you're going to compare a Vivian David, so to speak, just can really get low, almost squatting all the way down at the court, getting it back in.
And even there's a good example, but this time they pick apart Frantova on the left and create some offense.
18-15.
And another for the St. Louis Shock. They're looking to tie the score.
19-15.
Got to be helpful, finding a win off of a dink rally if you're the Frisco Pandas.
Yeah, and like I said, they just got to make no errors right now. Keep the ball in, see if you can't get some force errors on the other side there, but right now just hoping to climb back in. Let's not give the Shock a game point here.
Jams Jeannie Arokina right on the right hip. Nice shot from Frantova.
And I like her being aggressive right now. It's kind of like, hey, you know what? We're down. Let's go ahead and put some pace behind, get my body behind that ball, put some pressure on the Shock right now. I like the move.
Game point now for the St. Louis Shock. Frisco Pandas do have a little bit of a grace period here, as there is rally scoring on their side. And again, And there's that drop from Jeannie Arokina, doing the damage. Just such nice touch all the way from the baseline. Look at that thing.
Just so much spin and like pace.
So much spin, a little bit of a hybrid play from Jeannie Arokina, who ties the score for the St. Louis Shock versus the Frisco Pandas. It's 1-1. We will have mixed doubles coming up on the other side of this break. Who might take that first point?
Passports, they were handed on the way.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball.
And I said, Saturday, no one's here. Right? Are you getting this? So if he wants the invoice.
Water doesn't have to be boring. Turn it up with Cirkul. With over 40 delicious flavors and a dial that controls your intensity, Cirkul starts a party for your taste buds. No sugar, no calories, and no artificial flavors. Just good times. Cirkul, it's your water, your way. Try Cirkul at drinkcirkul.com.
Let's get to mixed doubles for this semifinal action between the Frisco Pandas and the St. Louis Shock. We want to welcome you back to Major League Pickleball by Margaritaville. You've got Cameron Irwin, that's me, in the booth alongside Cameron Blackwood. Just a few girls that love pickleball and love watching this semifinal take place as our score is tied up 1 apiece. Right now you're looking at Frantova and Ryler DeHart. Could that be the duo that's out there? They're currently warming up, as well as Jeannie Arokina and Martin Emmerich. This is where things always get so interesting in terms of decision making as a team, where you need a lot of communication and almost strategy to come to fruition. There's a look again at Jeannie Arokina and Martin Emmerich in terms of who you put out first, who responds. That's one of the great elements of Major League Pickleball, is there's advantages and disadvantages based off of whether you're reacting to mixed doubles or you get to react to, of course, that dream breaker. So we've seen a few dream breakers on the day, 2 to be exact, here on Championship Court. Maybe this one could go the distance.
Yeah, and I think that there's, I wouldn't say less pressure, but you're not going to lose the match on this first mixed doubles match here. So I would like to see these teams really, elongate some points here at the beginning, maybe really settle in. Yes, it's a very important first point. You want to be up 2-1 heading into that next mixed doubles, but there's a little pressure off knowing you're not going to win it or lose it on this match. Game, rather. Yeah, so much stuff flying on the court.
There's a big gust coming in, and we keep getting items out on the court. There's some jokes after what happened in men's doubles. We've got Rob Nunnery standing almost as if he's the official right now.
Oh, I'm glad they're laughing.
The opposite would be bad.
Yeah. I think if they were down 0-2, it would be very different.
I'm curious from our broadcast location, we're getting a heavy dose of breeze. If that's actually the case down on court, it's a little bit covered right now from the stands. Because you've got two southpaws out on the court right now between Emmerich and DeHart. You have the ladies playing the left side and mixed.
Sometimes I find that a little bit easier versus only one team doing that, where it's a little bit staggered. So it's almost like just a true switch here. But again, the patterns are very different. The women's, how they're going to place the ball within these patterns is very different. Setting up from the left side is different than setting up from the right side. So credit to these women here that have really honed in on what they need to do and do their part to get them here in the semifinal.
Arokina looking at a spot on the court, feeling like there's a little bit of a bump in the way. Created a wrong bounce, but I'd also be curious too, for this duo, I'm looking at Arokina and what she's done in gender doubles just in terms of how deadly she can be from the drop. If you're Emmerich, why not let her take some of those thirds and let him crash down, let her wreak havoc from the baseline?
Oh, I would, especially since his forehand's in the middle right there. So I would like to see her, hopefully they have the discussion of her to hit those drops over to Frantova, and then Emmerich just really put himself in the center of the court there, put a lot of pressure, and I think they could see some free points.
Because right now they cannot get to the kitchen line. Emmerich's been coming over, taking some of those thirds out of the middle.
Sometimes it's hard because in mixed doubles you're thinking, you almost want to play quote-unquote traditional. Great shot there by Arokina. Oh, little Callie Jo and Lucy Kovalova fist bump to the air.
Plenty of love from Emmerich after this one too. Thrilled with his partner.
You know, sometimes you can think, oh, we have to be quote-unquote traditional, so the guy comes over, takes the third, and the woman comes up. So, you know, I would like them to, like you said, switch it up because Arokina has such a deadly third shot drop.
Yeah, and until she maybe makes an error or two, it might just get yourself a little bit of a simpler move up to the kitchen. However, right now, Emmerich's just had two great drops that have paid dividends. And that's a great example. I thought Emmerich could have taken that first one.
You can see right there, though, that Frantova is really wanting to keep it away from Emmerich. I mean, she's had, what, 3-4 errors just wide on the side of Arokina, so looking to really keep things not even in the middle, but just over completely on Arokina's side there.
5-8.
She has, it's so easy to get away from your body. Nice job from her.
Yeah, not only away, but finish all the way on the other side of your body. So, like you said, keeping everything compact, key, especially for her length.
She nearly stole the show with that
one. 6-9.
on the side of the Frisco Pandas.
Yeah, Frantova just seems a little out of sorts here, just not really getting her feet set, missing wide, and so like to see DeHart maybe take over a little bit more, just not even in terms of the play, but just the communication, just, you know, telling her, hey, we got this, we're fine. Much better.
Frisco Pandas still in this 7-10. DeHart protecting his partner. Right time.
Go.
Fourth straight dig from Frantova to be able to walk away with that point. Just so much pressure applied. Emmerich's doing a nice job with his lateral motion right now up at the kitchen.
He really is, and I think he kind of got those jitters out, wasn't really making his thirds, but he's really established himself like, hey, you know what? If I need to take over this match, I can. Thank you so much, Erikina. Let's do your part. Not in a bad way, but she's playing her part well, but she's also having great footwork, allowing him to come in. Sometimes it's hard when you're a little bit taller with that lateral movement to allow the guy to come in and take those balls that he needs to get. So credit to both of them for just really having some great communication. It's almost unsaid communication that they have just a lot of comfortability. On the side of the Pandas, though, I would like to see Frantova go to the backhand side a little bit higher of Emmerich. See if you can't get a pop-up up there. Yeah, not too high. You don't want him to come down and finish it there, but you have someone like Frantova that can dig out the balls if that is the case. But pressure that a little bit more and see if DeHart can't come over and then finish that pop-up if he gets that.
All right, so Cameron Blackwood giving you some insight into some of the adjustments you might see in the second half of this first mixed doubles competition. We talked about some length and lateral motion. Well, I think it's safe to say that guy's pretty tall. Got some good lateral motion as well. Nonetheless, let's get back to it. Here we go, the second half of the first mixed doubles. Talked about it, it's a dance, and I think Emmerich might have just stepped on Erikina's foot.
Yeah, and it's tough. He's been getting those balls right, so she stepped out of the way according to how it's been going for him to hit that winner, and he thought, well, you got it in the last second. No, if you're going to take that much court, finish the shot.
Straddling the sideline, finds the forehand.
That's what I would like Frantova to do to Emmerich right now. That was a great speed up there, about a 60% speed up, caught the backhand side of DeHart off guard, got the pop-up, finished it. I would like to see Frantova test Emmerich a little bit on that side as well.
Flattening that out is Ryler DeHart. Trying to add a ton of spin from the baseline, but instead that ball is just wide, and all of a sudden the Frisco Pandas are storming back.
Yeah, I mean, change of ends, and they just felt like their communication's kind of off a little bit on the St. Louis Shock. So see if they can't button that up.
Skating across is DeHart.
I mean, he's wondering as well as I am why he did that. It was just a little bit too low. He's too off balance to come over and finish that point there. Let Frantova keep you in it. Not the one to go on.
Pandas have found 13.
And credit to them really capitalizing on the miscommunication on the other side of the St. Louis Shock. See if they can't continue this momentum.
Ryler DeHart is his name. He's currently pounding his chest because they have the lead.
Wow, what a change of events right now for the Frisco Pandas. You always don't get too much emotion out of her. That's why I loved her big fist pump, because you don't really see that from her. So love that.
Right now it's all about these two gentlemen poaching and finding an aggressive style of play through the middle.
And it's just such a different angle with the lefty in the middle. The spin comes at you differently, trying to block, and that's why it's so deadly when the guys can take over from that left or the right side with their left hand.
Tough ball in the middle, a little confusion as it's right smack dab in the transition zone.
16-15. You.
Laid up, but Frantova says no worries. She hit that ball high and was ready for the counter.
Yeah, I almost feel at the very end of this match here, it's just, there's a lot of emotion right now behind these shots. We're swinging hard, swinging fast. Communication's a little bit off. The guy's playing singles. Oh my
gosh. Hand speed is next level. Ryler DeHart has hit the ground.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible.
There's a new Frisco Panda. Taking fudge. Rocking the jersey.
17-16.
One more for DeHart.
You just need a little breather in the kitchen there to come back and get set.
So this is intriguing. The GD Arokina believed there was a crack in the ball, took the ball over to our officiating crew and proceeded to stomp on it before it was checked by all four players and our officiating crew.
And I will say, when you're in rec play, that is something you do. If it's a crack ball, you step on it just to get it out of your way here. But on championship court here in a semifinal, you can't just decide you don't like it and go to step on it. So good for the ref to make sure that didn't happen.
I guess actually there might have been conversation that it was lopsided, but again, the Frisco Pandas said, no, we're good with it, let's play.
Yeah, all four
18-17.
players on the court have to be in agreement to change the ball.
I got it.
Hard with a little extra stare down out the net.
Caught just the back of the line there. Checking with his sideline.
You. Go.
Emmerich, so quick around the kitchen, finds a massive forehand.
I mean, this has just been a crazy mixed doubles match. I mean, we've really seen it all. And unfortunately now a missed serve. God, such a crucial moment.
This is where Arokina has to hit the reset button. She's on the return here. So the first game point resides on the side of the St. Louis Shock, 20-19. Don't forget, gender doubles, men's gender doubles went 24-22. The hesitation will kill ya.
Yeah, and that is something that Emmerich has done now, what, 3-4 times, where he takes that step like that's going to be his ball, backs up at the last minute, leaves Arokina not prepared at all to finish that shot. So just, again, those tight little things. If they make it into the finals tomorrow, they have to button that up.
Trying to make sure that ball is even more lopsided. Emmerich gets the 21st point.
Oh, you have a lefty, so do I. Look at that angle.
throw the marbles.
You just saw, even just from her serve, she was very nervous within that point, just really out swinging within herself there, and just a crazy backhanded ground stroke not needed.
It worked, Arakina, and it's finally Frantova that does the damage.
Yeah, and credit to the Pandas there for putting so much pressure on her. Finally backed her up from kitchen to transition zone, back to the baseline, getting water. Credit to Arakina for keeping them in it as long as they did.
Frisco Pandas with the game point. And it's out of bounds. The Frisco Pandas. The journey continues for them on to the second mixed doubles. They are up now 2-1.
Wow. This has been an emotional semifinal. Incredible play by all these players out there right now. It's going to come down again. Pandas are up 2-1, but guess what? You have Rob Nunnery coming on the court now. The solid rock for your team that can come in clutch, tie it up 2-2, take it to a dream breaker. That's what the Shock are wanting at the moment to hopefully get them into tomorrow's championship.
Well, you can guarantee there might be just a little bit of a chip on the shoulder of Rob Nunnery after the way gender doubles finished out. So watch out for him as he prepares for the second mixed doubles.
Match point, it's all up to me. Nothing can get in my way. And when they ask, what are you gonna do next? I'll say, I'm going.
We're going to Margaritaville!
You can go to Margaritaville too. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com.
My name is Itzmar, and this is the story of how I got my life back. In college, I injured my back swimming, and pain became so bad that I couldn't function. Treatment was solely focused on my lower back. I was worried that I was never going to get better. When I found HSS, it felt like I had found the cure to my pain. My doctor asked about my hips, as opposed to every other doctor that only asked about my back. HSS changed and saved my life.
The all-new Prius. Toyota. Let's go places.
Innovation is our specialty. Winning is his. Zane Navratil has won more than 40 Pro Gold medals and back-to-back Major League Pickleball titles. One of pickleball's most iconic and decorated athletes teamed up with our world-class engineers with one goal in mind: build a paddle that can dominate. The Zane Navratil Signature Paddle, designed for champions by champions. Available now. ProXR Pickleball. Innovation you can handle.
Flames on the video board, and that's right, because this is the semifinals for the challenger level of Major League Pickleball by Margaritaville. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Cameron Blackwood, and Rob Nunnery alongside Judith Castillo are taking the court right now in a must-have situation for the St. Louis Shock. They will face off against Andre Mick and Bobby Oshiro. And we just got some intel. We're supposed to call him Big Dog. That's Andre. We'll see if he plays like that.
I love that. Did he name himself?
I'm hearing that's what they call him back home.
Okay.
All right, so Cameron, give me a little insight. If you are Andre Mick and Bobby Oshiro, where might you look in terms of an advantage against Judith Castillo and Rob Nunnery after this point?
things. Number one, I would either try and suffocate Castillo just a little bit. Let's test her dinks. Let's test the speed ups to her. Nunnery loves speed ups. He wants to get in those hands battles. He almost kind of baits you into that a little bit. And then what I would do in order to create almost that suffocation there is really pull out Nunnery a little bit wide. We saw there he got his footing just a little bit out wide, created a little bit of an opening. He tried to go for too much. So those would be my 2 points right there, because it is such a solid team over there, especially with Nunnery. Like we said, the most experience on the court, been there, done that. So look for them to target Castillo just a little bit more and then get Nunnery off balance to then target Castillo.
So watch for them to move Nunnery off his spot. Right now tied up 2 apiece.
I was wondering if Bobby was going to hit that.
A little fake out, you know. Show and take. She's got her feet moving right now.
3, 2.
To be honest with you, it looks as if the Frisco Pandas are just collecting other pros from around the tournament. Jay DeVilliers now sitting courtside with Emmerich, or I guess actually more the St. Louis Shock.
Yeah, it's funny as you start to kind of get to the end of these days here, end of day Thursday, end of day Friday, a lot of the teams are out. So they'll go and kind of buddy up and partner up with these other teams. And you'll see them with jerseys on, supporting them. And a lot of them have just, you know, different backgrounds of why they want to cheer for that team, good friendships. So it's all pickleball at the end of the day, and everyone wants to see their buddy win.
I think Jay just got asked to maybe make a move here. You can see him next up on championship court as the Dallas Pickleball Club will take on Miami.
That'll be a fun one.
Back to the premier level we'll go.
4, 5.
Little shake and bake for the big dog.
And that's what he is going to have to do in this matchup. He has to play bigger than Nunnery, and he has to be dominant on the court, and that's exactly what he's doing. So I like for him to take that first move. Yeah, obviously didn't make that one, but I do like that. I like that he's crashing, and he's almost doing a little shake and bake himself, because you have such a solid partner over here with Oshiro who can get back and hit some resets, some counters for Mick to continue to be big. Big dog.
Right now, the St. Louis Shock have to find their transition play, have yet to get solidified up at the line.
6, 6.
That is a wicked overhead from Mick.
Great angle by him. A lot of times you just see players just go to the middle with those overheads. So for him to kind of take that risk right off that first overhead and angle it across, he's feeling confident out there.
7, 7.
Looking for the ATP defense winner, but instead it's just wide of the court.
God, that would have been great. Love that from Oshiro there. Just waited long enough, continued the motion not across her body, but up, creating a little bit of different spin, locking it in the back of the court.
Might be time to play keep away from Andre Mick right now.
Well, and that's hard because then you have someone like Oshiro who the points that you're going to elongate the points. So it's kind of like, what do you want to choose here? Do you want to go for Mick, who maybe gets some errors, but there's so much more power, or go to someone like Oshiro, who you're not going to get in trouble, but the ball's going to come back time and time again.
Ball called out of bounds. Was off that call right there for Rob Nunnery.
guys are standing by the alcohol.
I think they're going to go ahead and challenge that.
Yeah, it's tough to tell from the first view that we saw, but I think this one might stay on the side of the St. Louis Shock, though. So again, an out call made by the St. Louis Shock is currently being challenged by the Frisco Pandas. We've had a few challenges in this match to this point.
I will say thank goodness that we didn't have the floaty sound maker come in at this exact moment.
Ironically, it looks almost identical, and here's a look at it. What do you see, Cam?
Looks out to me.
Yep, so again, draw a line right through the middle of that ball, and that is the contact point that you have to look for as this ball does not compress, and it looks like it's just beyond the midline.
And that's hard when you're coming from tennis or just any other sport and you see that, oh, well, it's touching the line, it must be in. Here in pickleball, like she said, you cut a line right through the ball and it has to be like that center axis point right at the bottom, and it just really doesn't compress. So if it's a little bit out, it is out.
I like that. Jeannie Arokina and Martin Emmerich sitting courtside. Again, this is a must-have situation for the St. Louis Shock. They would have to prepare for a dream breaker. And the Frisco Pandas are looking up to us in the booth asking for the call. Can't make it.
After video review, the out call is overturned. The ball is in.
Wow. And this is why I maybe shouldn't put my opinion into it. I thought that ball was out of bounds, but it has been overturned. And inbounds is the call from our officiating crew.
And I will say, we just get one look here. The refs do have multiple camera looks to look at the different angles. They have cameras from behind the court, on the side, so maybe they saw an angle where that center point was, in fact, on the white line for them to overturn the call.
And of course, St. Louis Shock have the stream up in their hands on the side of the court looking at the freeze frame, trying to show our officiating crew. And I believe this is now getting addressed, potentially a blue card coming in the mix, and they are stunned.
Well, and I think after just that crucial call there in men's doubles, they're just sitting here like,
this has happened to us twice.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's personal to them. Clearly on the sideline, they are not happy. Oh, I got so confused there for a minute. I was like, why is Rob going up to touch that?
So 11-8, it's the Frisco Pandas who have the lead here into the end change. I mean, this is wild at this point. Rob Nunnery is just sitting there going, we've got to do something about this. And of course, we have to give a nice shout out to Cirkul. Get your water your way. Of course, Cirkul, one of our fantastic sponsors here at Major League Pickleball by Margaritaville. We are fueled by so many fantastic people that just love and adore this sport, whether it's from a paddle sponsorship you can get in the mix, or you need a pair of Skechers. You can find all of these fantastic sponsors right here on Major League Pickleball by Margaritaville.
There we have our buddy there, Adam Stone. Love him. He was just on the mic a little bit earlier, so huge fan, always sticking around for the rest of the matches.
And honestly, if I'm the St. Louis Shock, I'm getting this and using it as fuel to the fire, because if a few calls haven't gone my direction, oof.
They used to say in tennis when you would have some of those testy calls there and you'd get so frustrated they wouldn't go your way.
I mean, that's just a crazy save from Rob Nunnery, but it's just not enough.
I thought it caught.
Oh, did it?
I think so.
Oh, it did. Rob Nunnery. A heck of a save and finish.
They'd say there in tennis, if you kind of get hooked a little bit here and there, or you think a ball's in and it was out. I remember my coach always said, well, Cameron, hit it in a little bit more. You know, that's, so again, you just kind of have to go back to that. Okay, they're seeing one thing. We think we're getting cheated here, but you know what? Let's get back to our game. We know how to play this. We have a solid game plan. Rob's as solid as it gets. Let's calm back down. Let's take this to a dream breaker.
Nice shot from O'Shea. We haven't said her name enough. Just really steady ball through the middle and down at the feet of Nunnery.
14-10.
Dink rally and then finds the speed up the line.
And what I love about that, she was so calm the whole time, went cross court, down the line, cross court, down the line, then an aggressive cross court created the pop-up. So good on her. Like we said, we really haven't mentioned her much. It's because she's just so solid.
Rob Nunnery a little overextended there, creates the pop-up. Timeout. This is on the side of the St. Louis Shock and quite necessary to this point, trailing by 6 and down a game. The Frisco Pandas, I'm sorry, you got to go back to it. They hadn't won a game, and all of a sudden, here they are with a shot to potentially move on to a final, having picked up 3 wins, including 1 in the quarterfinals. This would be their 4th win on the weekend to push them all the way to the final, where the SoCal Hard Eights are currently waiting.
Yeah, and this has just been an emotional matchup in general. I mean, you look at the other semifinals that played, Hard Eights finished super quick, 3-1, they're in and out. But you have this one where the crazy ending you had with the win coming in men's doubles, and then you're heading into the last mixed doubles there, and now this with just some crazy calls. So again, this is pickleball. You got to roll with it, and you got to make sure that you still can focus in and get these big time points when they really matter. And the Pandas are doing just that.
It's time for some magic on the side of the Shock. To your point, they're focusing in. There's 1 back.
11-16.
And 1 more. Make it back to back.
And just what a low get there from Castillo, keeping it nice and low, not putting too much on it, but just floated when it crossed the net there. Mick not able to pick it back up.
Sorry.
Oh, and you will take that all day long. You love it if it's on your side, and you hate it if you're not. I'm sure the Shock are thinking that's the last thing the Pandas need right now is a net dribbler over with a free point.
1 more. Frisco Pandas up 18-12.
18-12.
Castillo taking over.
Just what a head-to-head battle that was. You just saw so much emotion with those 2 players just going back and forth, and she did such a great job of getting Mick to come to the center and then finishing it behind him. So great job by Judith.
You got it. You.
Catching him again. She's really moving over, finding that backhand. She wasn't necessarily timing it out correctly in some of the earlier stages of this mixed doubles matchup, but so far, last handful of points, she's had some success there. Shiro reaching in.
And just a good change of placement there. I mean, she's been going cross court. Sometimes you always want to hit the player coming into the net and avoid the person at the net, or quote unquote transition zone is where Rob was. So great change of direction there from Oshiro. Good look there from Nunnery to continue to get big. He has to. If they want to win this, Castillo's doing her part. Rob Nunnery has got to step up and do his as well.
Oshiro continues to attack the feet of Nunnery.
She might be small, but she is mighty, and she has so much power. I mean, really, a lot of it comes from her legs as well.
Match point. And not so fast. This is an area where the St. Louis Shock could earn 2 for 1.
16-20.
You. Me.
And the Frisco Pandas earn 1 back after a hands battle between Rob Nunnery and Andre Mick. Goes the direction of the Pandas.
I mean, I thought Nunnery was going to win that point. I mean, he just looked to be completely taking over and swinging full force, so much confidence. Credit to the Pandas.
16.
From 0 to hero, the Frisco Pandas pick up the win, and they are moving on to the championships of the challenger level. In just 4 games played, the score and the result is a 3-1 victory for the Frisco Pandas. A massive congratulations to the Pandas and Dude Perfect, the team that is now headed off to face off against the SoCal Hard Eights. Tomorrow, the championships will take place for the challenger level. We still have so much to come here, though, as there is one more premier level matchup to take place this evening. It's the Dallas Pickleball Club versus the Miami Pickleball Club. However, we'll get a chance to catch up with the winners. The Pandas down on championship court with Cameron Blackwood on the other side of this break. Major League Pickleball by Margaritaville is brought to you by Hospital for Special Surgery, proud to be the official hospital of Major League Pickleball. Toyota Prius, it's ace now. ProXR Pickleball, innovation you can handle. DUPR, innovate the game, unify the sport.
At The Botanist, we always look further, seeing potential where others may not. We sustainably hand-forage 22 Isla Botanicals to make a beautifully balanced gin, capturing the essence of our Scottish island home. Consciously crafted by our community to be enjoyed by yours. Look further.
Match point, it's all up to me. Nothing can get in my way. And when they ask, what are you gonna do next? I'll say, I'm going.
We're going to Margaritaville!
You can go to Margaritaville too. Visit MargaritavilleResorts.com.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball.
Welcome back here to Major League Pickleball in center court, where we just finished a very emotional semifinal here with the Frisco Pandas against the St. Louis Shock. I'm going to start with you, Andre. You were just saying, you almost can't even think right now with everything that just went on this matchup, but just how important was this win here, and just how were you able to fight through those emotions, especially in men's doubles, to get you guys the win into the championships?
I mean, I think from the start, everyone counted the Pandas out, and we broke the curse, and we're here to stay.
And like you said, Bob, you're just so excited that you were just happy to make history getting the Pandas out of Thursday play now into the championship. How proud are you of this team?
It's an amazing feeling. I mean, we've come a long way from Atlanta and then being able to grind this out here in Dallas. So just want to be able to thank Panda Nation, all of our supporters here, people on the sidelines. So it's an amazing spirit. So see you guys tomorrow.
And Ryler, like we talked about, I mean, from men's doubles and that crazy call and then heading into mix, I mean, there was just so much emotion. How did you mentally stay in this match and keep your team level-headed to take the win?
I mean, it wasn't easy. You got to just embrace it. That's MLP. That's what we all love about it. So it was fun. Like the rest of my team said, this is an awesome team. Historic moments for Pandas. Please come out and support us tomorrow. This is pretty much a local team. So get out here and support us in the finals. Let's go.
And Martina, coming to you guys are heading into the finals against the Hard Eights. What are you going to have to do well to win in the championship tomorrow?
I'm still in this match. I really can't answer that, but I mean, I just think we have to play our game. We have to stay aggressive. I mean, and just have fun out there. I mean, I think we had so much fun even though we were nervous and everything, but I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. I love this group and it's great to compete alongside them.
Frisco Pandas heading into the championships tomorrow against the SoCal Hard Eights. You don't want to go anywhere. We're going to have more Major League Pickleball right after this.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob ULTRA, superior light beer.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball.
Innovation is our specialty. Winning is his. Zane Navratil has won more than 40 Pro Gold medals in back-to-back Major League Pickleball titles. One of pickleball's most iconic and decorated athletes teamed up with our world-class engineers with one goal in mind: build a paddle that can dominate. The Zane Navratil signature paddle, designed for champions by champions. Available now. ProXR Pickleball. Innovation you can handle.
Dulce Vida Tequila. Tequila, pure and simple.